Hello and welcome to the next video. In this video I'm going to be talking about an experience I had in Chengdu, China while I was living in China the first 5 years. This would have happened in, I believe, 2015. I call this the Chengdu Skywalk incident. So I was in Chengdu for a few days to do the usual kind of, sightseeing and, just walking around and vacation type thing. So left my hostel. This was probably early afternoon. Left my hostel to walk around and just kind of see the city, not too far from where I was staying. So I remember just walking the street, and there happened to be a skywalk, which is just one of these pedestrian bridge that goes over a street. So it's concrete steps, a path, whatever. Nothing out of the ordinary that you see in most cities, especially in China. So start walking up, and out of the corner of my eye, there's two ladies coming down, in the opposite direction. And I happen to notice that behind one of the two ladies is, and again, this is out of the corner of my eye, there's a kid. I'm like, oh, okay, two ladies, that must be the woman's kid. And again, they're at the top coming down, I'm at the bottom going up. It wasn't until we were passing each other that I just happened to glance over and notice that's not a kid. That's the gentleman crouching down very closely to one of the two women. And as I keep, as we keep passing each other and I keep turning, I see him reaching into the purse of the woman that he's closest to. So I already realized he's a thief, and and at the same time I'm thinking, is this happening right in front of me in broad daylight? So we pass each other. I'm almost to the top, and I was seeing this thing play out. Instantly get upset. So I stop, turn around, and yell out at the top of my lungs in English, "Hey!" Unfortunately, the woman whose purse the thief was sticking his hand into to rob her, she, I guess, gets shocked by me shouting, and she unfortunately trips down the last set of steps. At the same time, the thief jumps to the side of the stairs, so if they're on the right, he's all the way on the far left. And instantly I felt sorry for this woman, because I guess I had scared her, and she lost her footing. A friend, comes by, picks her up, and if you're watching this, I'm sorry that happened. I hope you weren't too badly hurt. But then I say in Chinese, "Hey, he was taking something from your purse." And so she instantly looks at her purse. The thief then looks at me, then looks at her and says in Chinese, "I didn't take anything. Check your purse. Everything's there." And, he's lying. So I say back to him in Chinese, "I'm not lying. I saw you. I know what you did. Be careful." And pointed at the guy. And, woman had since stood up, checked her purse. Everything seemed to be okay. Her other friend was, next to her, consoling her. I just looked at the thief, turned, and was going to continue on my way. Just didn't want to escalate this more than just, hey, be careful, hey, somebody's robbing you. So, start walking on the other, to the other side of the street on the sky bridge. As I'm walking, I had the good sense to, look back. And when I get about halfway to 3/4 of the way across the sky bridge, or skywalk, I notice the thief come up the stairs. And just looking at me with this scowl on his face because I thwarted his attempt to rob someone. So I stop, turn around, he stops, and I just put out my arms, because it seems like he wanted to start a fight. In revenge or for me stopping him from committing a crime and victimizing one of his own people. So, fortunately, he was by himself. And I say this because generally criminals and thugs and even most Chinese people, when they fight you in groups. They're usually too afraid to do one-on-one, especially if you're an expat and you're much taller and, bigger in general, which I was. So it could have ended really badly for me, but I was just so incensed at what I had seen. Wasn't even thinking straight, except to mind my surroundings, keep an eye on him. And there wasn't anybody else on the bridge at that time. And again, mind you, this is broad daylight. So I guess he saw that I wasn't afraid of him. So he just stops and continues down, turns around, goes back down the stairs, and I continue on my way. So I get to the bottom of the stairs, or the skywalk, and I notice a police officer there, and I go, great. So, go, excuse me. Again, this is all in Chinese. There's a thief, and he was trying to rob a woman. I saw him put his hand in her purse. And he said, a thief? Where? And I said, oh, on the other side over here. Oh, did he take anything? I said, no. I said something, the woman fell. She looked in her purse, she was okay. There was nothing there, nothing missing. But I can point the thief out to you, he's still there. So he's probably going to rob someone else. And the cop said, oh, no problem, don't worry. Really? I can show you. Don't worry. And then I walked, back to my hostel. Not only was I shocked because I had seen someone, a couple feet away from me robbing this poor unsuspecting woman, and then have that same thief try to follow me, when I had confronted him. But the fact that the police officer wasn't willing to at least look at the person who I claimed had tried to rob someone, or at least just stood there just in case what I said was true if he didn't believe me. That was, even more surprising and shocking. Even though I had lived in China several years at this point and knew that police officers they're peacekeepers, they're not crime fighters. They seek to just keep the peace, keep the harmony, yes, there can be criminals, yes, there can be prostitution, yes, there can be all sorts of things out in the street, as long as they're not no one's creating a massive scene, as long as everyone's okay, just move it along, nothing to see here. Fortunately, I never saw that kind of situation play out anywhere else. Ever. But it was still a surprise and a shock. Anyway, that's my Chengdu Skywalk experience. See you guys in the next video.